But for more, we can speak to our international affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert. Hello to you, Doug. We saw Biden before this visit. He knew it was controversial. He even wrote an editorial in the Washington Post defending this visit. Did he have to jeopardize some of his ideals to make it?
Yeah, of course he did. Look, his whole presidency, you're right, has been about this broad, overarching idea that the world is in a contest right now between democracy and autocracy. His big bogeyman, the geopolitical bogeyman, has been China. And since the invasion of Ukraine, Russia. Russia and China together are the absolute biggest threats to the world as we know it in Biden's sort of geopolitical vision. So what's he doing here? Why is he sitting around the table today with a bunch of Arab leaders, 9 of them, 7 of those 9 are from countries they are unelected, kings, princes, emirs, sultans. They have never had to face a democratic ballot. He's meeting with all of them. And these are people who are, by the very definition of their titles, antithetical to the democratic ideals that Biden says he stands for. He called Saudi Arabia a pariah state, as we've said endlessly. He's there for a simple reason. You don't have to be the rocket scientist. He is there because he is right now hobbled at home. He is literally in a situation with many of Democrats within the Democratic Party are saying, should he even run for a second term? He has November midterm elections months away. And even if we all know, and any economist will tell you, of course, inflation is not Joe Biden's fault. The popular perception in America is that the reason that Americans are feeling pain at the pump and Republicans are doing everything through disinformation and right-wing media networks to drive this home, to misinform, to mislead, that this is on Biden. If they're hurting at the pump, it's Biden's fault. So Biden is a lot there to try to strike deals with these Arab leaders to bring down those energy prices, to try to make them pump more oil so the gas prices will come down. And along the way to contain Iran, because he realizes that that could also help shore up, to help exert American influence in the region and sort of restore a framework for an American leadership that a lot of the Arab leaders feel has been abandoning them. But going back, is he abandoning some of those democratic ideals and human rights, even if he says he spoke to Mohammed bin Salman and brought up the issue of the slain journalist, the murdered journalist Khashoggi, and told him about it? Of course, he's flying in the faces of ideals. And the White House flew in there knowing that he was going to face heavy scrutiny at home. But at the end of the day, he simply said he had no choice. The word to use is realpolitik, right? That is politics that you don't really want to do. But because of the world being the way it is, and it's a cynical take, you have to engage with people you really hate and sometimes are your arch adversaries.
So a calculated risk on his first trip to the Middle East as U.S. president. Is he coming away empty-handed?
What's he coming with? Okay, so he's sitting down today, in addition to yesterday's meeting with MBS, Saudi Arabia's putative leader, with Abdullah Fattah el-Sisi, Egypt's leader, a man who, has always been a staunch U.S. ally, gets over $1 billion in U.S. aid a year, and yet at the same time, he's locked up tens of thousands of prisoners, cracked down on political dissent, squashed political dissent, came to power through a military coup. Not exactly a democratic leader, but the U.S. says it's going to come away by shoring up Egypt's role as a guarantor of stability in the region. What else is it doing concretely? Well, they're going to come away with a deal, $1 billion in food security assistance for the Middle East and North Africa. Nothing to sneeze at. It is very important at a time where Ukrainian wheat has been blocked. Those countries, a lot in Africa, are really desperate for more food aid, more infrastructure investment in the region, more cooperation in the region, especially between Israel and these Arab neighbors in the face of a common enemy, Iran. So it's not nothing, but it's not going to go down well because as far as the oil guarantees, the whole reason I said he was coming to the region, no, those prices are not going to plunge at the pump. Gas prices have been coming down in America, but if they're to come down further, there's very little spare capacity in these nations. Yes, Saudi Arabia, UAE do have several million bottles that they could do. None of that's expected to happen out of this meeting. Rather, perhaps in the coming months when the so-called OPEC Plus cartel meets, and they will probably sometime in August agree on some sort of production increase. Biden alone, his hands are tied. He's going to have a few pledges on paper of things that they can do here and there to sort of make things look a little better and help out where he can. But as far as the overall picture, I think that, he's probably given up more than he's gained. Not probably. He has given up more than he's gained in terms of his values and ideals by sitting down with these leaders who really, a lot of them are just people you can't meet with.